Welcome! All I want for Christmas is Mega Man. We have a special guest today, SmokyRawSauce. He will be joining us momentarily. I hope everybody is excited. I am excited. In fact, one way I know that I'm excited is that Smokey's excited. And if Smokey's excited, then I'm excited. Because we're dual like that. But here, let me call him real quick, and we'll get this started. Episode 2 of ROMHACK Podcast. Or episode 3. Season 2.
Wait, should I do video or just regular audio call?
For me, my OBS will be weird, so...
Can I probably do video or audio?
Well, if you can do video, I can help, because then I won't get the delay.
Oh yeah, I can get you on there. Yeah, we can swing that.
But like I said, I don't. If I have to use your stream one, that's fine.
All right, so I can just put your stream on my thing. Well,
are we just gonna do that then? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I don't care. I'll put your stream on my thing. It's fine. All right.
And then are we gonna do streaming together?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
You don't have to. It's more just like when it makes sense.
Yeah, like let's do it.
I think it makes sense. At least the shared chat thing, right?
All right, let me get you on there here. Thank you for, man. I was hoping to have more time to prep. I didn't plan on my kids today, so I'm doing my best.
No, dude, it's totally fine.
All right.
I'm more worried that my Mario Party won't be ready. Like I'm still waiting for the code. I'm like, oh man.
Oh, you don't have it yet, or it's not?
Yeah, like the throne purchase. I had to reorder it, and then the order. I think it's gonna go into the minute I ordered it, which is like any minute now. So I'll know soon if I got it or not. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
We'll see.
Yeah,
no, you gotta love.
I'll just put you right on here. Fuck it. Yeah. Well, I'll have to crap you though.
How do I? Wait, how do I get you in here? Did you start streaming together yet or no?
I don't. I don't know.
Okay, so go. I can tell you how to do it really easy. Go to your dashboard.
Yes, sir. Whoa, slow down.
Oh, what's a dashboard?
Right. Wait.
La di da, Mr. Frenchman.
Carl.
The dashboard. Go to the bottom left. It should say streaming together, like one of the options.
The OBS Studio dashboard.
No, like your Twitch dashboard.
But yes. Okay, gotcha. Let me. I'm going there right now. Yes, I have it bookmarked as dashboard. Got it.
Yeah, then you should see the streaming together option. It's like near the bottom-ish.
Yes.
If you click start streaming together, it should like start it.
All right. Got it.
And then
I need to click right. Turn on. This is what it looks like, by the way. Oh, move forward.
I sent you an invite.
Invite guest. Okay. Or
I sent you an invite. You should see it in your notification.
Is that notifications? Sorry, have that.
Yeah, there should be a notification. I just sent you an invite.
Okay, there she blows.
There it is. And then click start sharing chat. Yeah, you got it. Cool. Perfect.
Start sharing.
It looks like we got it. It says shared chat started.
Oh yes, I see shared chat. Clicked on it. Shared chat is on. Okay, yep.
Yeah. This is a new Twitch feature.
All right.
But we wanted to wait. Do we need to turn off I'll turn off the. Sorry, I had it on there. On the other thing.
Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, your setup's way better.
Setup's way better. Hello. Oh yeah, no. When people donate, they get to decorate the Christmas tree. So it's been a fun little thing. But for the interview,
that's looking good.
I actually have a special scene for an interview. But ironically, it's not on the right thing right now.
Let me make sure I get your audio turned up here. Oh, I should plug in my ear hole. Nah, should be okay. And I make you as loud as possible. Where is it?
Sorry.
See where I can change the.
That works.
I'm not seeing that.
The streamception.
Yes.
So let me know when you're good to go.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So welcome. This is the ROMHACK podcast. This episode, we have ourselves a very special guest, the one, the only, SmokyRawSauce himself. welcome.
Thank you. Yes. Muchos gracias. Por favor. Shit. Can we start over?
No. Unfortunately, this is forever your intro.
Go.
I will forever associate you with this intro. So, for those that don't know, who is SmokyRawSauce?
Yes. Good question. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know, but I do like to stream. Like, well, you know.
Honestly, I don't know who I am. So.
Yeah, no. As far as like what part of this is, as far as like the modding and all that stuff.
Well, it's not even about that. It's just like about who you are. You know, like.
Yeah, I like survival games. I like a good particular style survival games. Factorial, logistics, puzzle solving.
Cool.
I'm getting really into that.
Yeah. It's
always
perfect.
good retro.
Yeah,
retro. Freaking. Always fun at multiplayer on the sides with Mario Party and all that stuff.
True.
So that's the main core ingredient. Or RTSs, StarCraft, Age of Empires. That's on the pie chart.
Yes.
So you got the survival games, you got the retro, the RTSs, you got the pretty much.
Well, what don't you play?
What don't I play? Oh, all right.
There has to be games you hate.
Anything with a story.
Okay.
Yeah, anything with a story. Not usually. That's not my thing.
So like what's an example of a story game you hate?
Well, any Final Fantasy game. Nothing wrong with them. I just wouldn't play them. Like,
I
need something.
Pretty personally.
Yeah, I need something that has like a. I don't know the word. I need to be like. I need to know. The game could end. It could go. If it's a game where I know it's just a matter of time of finishing it, then
you love Morrowind though, even though it's everything you just said you hated. No,
modded Morrowind.
Fair. That is fair. Right. I do like modded Mario 1. It's like different from regular Mario 1, so I'll give you that. Also, it's funny. We're gonna have our I am the Lizard Queen.
So Morrowind.
So yeah, like you're gonna talk about it before I interrupted you. What's your experience as a ROMHACK mod player person?
Okay. Experience as a ROMHACK mod player.
Yeah, like what kind of like ROM hacks or mods have you played? Like for those that don't know. And it doesn't have to be Morrowind, it can be anything.
Area. I think Skyrim was probably my first game I installed mods for. And then I was like, then I got hooked. I was like, all right, I can add this. Oh, let me change this. So I can add this. And those things, you spend like hours and hours building this thing, and you play the game for an hour or two, then you're done. But you have more fun customizing the game than anything else.
And so I've always heard that. That's funny to like still hear that like perpetrated, like it's still continued on.
Let's see. And as far as ROM hacks, I started my first one, that Zelda Link to the Past randomizer. And this is years ago. Kind of first I saw a YouTube video.
I remember.
I saw someone play it, and I'm like, "This is a thing? You can do that?" And holy shit, I couldn't download it fast enough. I was so excited. Like you just play the whole game new again, and
the intro. I was like, "What happened?" That's me.
And you guys gotta forgive my stuff on the sides there.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine.
Fruits basket. Could you kill her? Hello. Sorry.
Yeah. You're allowed to talk to people. It's fine. Yeah.
All right. Cool. And so let's say ancient dungeon. Okay, so nowadays, the ROM ancient dungeons. That's a thing too. Great example of like, I know I can beat it. Second quest. It's so hard, but I keep going back to it. It's like that good challenge right there. It's
like perfect for you though. Like with your skill level.
Revenge of the Falcon. Thanks for showing me that. And I have to I keep going at it to finish it, but that's the extent.
No, you always have you like games that I don't typically like, with like retro games, like Dr. Mario. So I think like because I have like this like encyclopedic ROM hack knowledge. So if you're like, yo, I need a ROM hack for this game, I can be like, I got 13.
Hey, I've noticed that too. You're like freaking on point with that shit. So that's pretty sweet.
That's pretty much all we do here. Or like we've gotten to a point where we played so much stuff. We're kind of taking a break almost at the moment. But okay, that was your experience as a player, right? So you played a lot of stuff. You've pretty much done a lot of Zelda stuff, and I feel like you've done Doom as well, right?
Oh yeah.
I think you played a lot of mods.
We did a randomizer on Doom. We did that. Factorial. We did a couple mods for that. I just love how
the Archipelago
makes the game so much better.
Archipelago.
Archipelago. Oh yes, yes.
Because that is a hack, right? That is a mod, right?
Yeah. We can,
People don't consider randomizers
retro,
ROM
I always
hacks.
consider a hack.
But they are
Yeah.
though. Like a ROM hack is still a randomizer is still a ROM hack. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
But I know what you mean though. It's not like it's a weird thing, but I know what you mean. Yeah. But yeah. So okay. So that was your experience as a player. What's your experience as a creator of ROM hacks and mods?
And I'm new to this shit, man. I'm honestly, I'm probably the least talented person, hacker modder that you're gonna interview, but I know just enough to get by. But anyway, that my experience with it would be probably the Long Dark. As far as creating, I started applying mods to it, the game, and I made it so much better. You know, Long Dark's my favorite, and the mods was always so great. But there's a couple of things I need to adjust a little bit. But I either have to have someone do it, or I can try to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
And the Long Dark isn't meant to be modded. You have to DN spy, break everything open, go in, recompile. It's a lot of steps, but I was determined because I wanted it so bad. I don't care. I'll figure it out. So that's kind of well. Then it was C#, which was nice. I did Unity. I actually did work a lot of time on time spent on game development in Unity, like
I forgot about
2016.
that. Yeah.
I have nothing to show for it at all, but so I learned C# through that and just YouTube videos and all that.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I'm just listening. Yeah. Awesome.
So we start with the Long Dark, and yeah, the most we could ever do is edit a pre-existing mod. I could never figure out how to make one, but usually that was sufficient. And we would do special ones. We would remove all animals wouldn't respawn, and that's the thing I like to talk about too, and how I like to apply these survival tech styles to these games is just having a game world that doesn't regenerate. I don't see the value in that. Like you just, once it's use something that's gone, force you to move on. I love that. Okay, so get you out of one area, get you out of this easy section. That any anti-cheat stuff, any stuff that, because I'm a minimalist as much as possible. It comes to these, playing survival. If I don't need to do it, I'm not going to bother. Like just what I need to get by.
Yeah. You're not going to try to 100% it or like get every single little thing.
Yeah, and I'm going to so it's like I'm going to do just enough to what I can. And eventually it gets too easy. So anyway, as far as the question of editing mods, we toyed a little bit with Long Dark. That was fun.
But I guess just give a what do you call it, a parameter or a ballpark? How many years? How long ago was that? Was that last year? 2 years ago?
2 years ago, just 2 years ago. I think the last one before, whatever. That's how. But that led into Morrowind. That would be the spring of last year.
Okay.
And so how it, and so that was the next thing it would start.
Yeah, well, it kind of goes into our next question. Before we do though, I think Rager Page is right. Don't sell yourself short. You literally mod and you program with actual code. That's impressive, dude. That's I can't even do that.
It was.
I don't know shit.
And don't let it fool you. Thank you though. But don't let it fool you too much. I know just enough, and it was I had to get through it.
That sounds more than most people nowadays. But you were just about to tell us. Tell us about your current project, this Morrowind mod. You keep kind of talking around. What is it? Let the people know.
Okay, so this is the particular one, the ESP file I'm working on now. We'll call it. I don't know what it's called. Morrowind Armageddon, Legend of Vivek. Now maybe I don't know. It's
I got second title. Yeah, that's a good one.
The Legend of Vivek now because now we started that bosses thing. But ultimately, it's a survival challenge mod, and it's not meant to be installed along with a bunch of others. It would be almost a standalone. It changes a lot of stuff in the game. You would install it knowing it's what it does, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's almost like an overhaul, but not an overhaul. But it's almost like a ROM hacky kind of thing because it just kind of changes a lot of different. I don't know how you describe it, but.
It's like a 1.5 or something. It's a half changed, but still mostly the same. Yeah.
And so I have a lot of patch notes there. I make sure I tell the player all the changes I'm making, what's in there, how help navigate them through and all that. So, and what
and your messages at the top. Sorry.
The bigger picture on this, I guess, is this was a thing, an ongoing thing from probably last year. It started off. The idea was because we got off Long Dark. Okay, we finished with that. Then I remember thinking, I think Morrowind is kind of up next. Was I'm just fucking bored. Like, wait, what if I modded it? Could I mod the game like I did with Long Dark to this one? And the game that's meant to be modded, that should be easier, right?
Yeah.
And so that was my motivation. Oh, could I make it like Blood? Could I make it an actual hardcore survival game? And that was, I had spent so much time, more time than I should, on like spreadsheets and the notes, taking out notes. I had more fun just game designing, thinking like my Monopoly stuff. Oh, what would I do? What I like to do? What would I change? What would be balanced? And what would be the incentive to do this, and that? So that's a lot of fun. I have more fun doing that than anything else, and I almost get burnt out on it. But so it started off as a survival thing. I had 2 hunger bars. I don't go in detail on it. A good example of nothing to show for it in the end, but we learned a lot. We learned the nuances with the editor. We can talk about that later. And then so I guess I should say it's more like a giant sandbox of mods that melded together and merged together. I'll have an idea, like start messing with the gold. And what if people spawned around you? It's called Highway Robbery. A version of this was last year, and you'd get prompted. You have to pay them. You didn't have enough gold. There'd be a thing in there, and all this stuff kept going.
Okay.
And that was a cool idea. That was part of another mod, and I got an idea, so I branched off of this other. So I don't know. It's a big giant sandbox, and I'm trying to like make one thing to show for it.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like
sense,
all these different systems working together to create like a whole new experience for people who know the game.
All right, so let's say now about this one in particular. Let's just cut to it then. So the goal, this mod, the one I'm working on now, the one I want to release sometime in January.
Yes.
All right, the goal, as of now, the goal is to kill Vivek.
Okay.
And in order to do that, you gotta beat the bosses all scattered throughout the land of in the expansions. And
okay.
Let's see. And so there's that. So there's that by itself. Now over time, what happens is starting by day 10 or so, there'll start to be NPCs attacking you. Dark Brotherhood style. We'll call it Vivek's minions, hired goons, call it what you will.
Okay.
But that is the survival part of the game, where there's this ongoing looming threat that's going to get more and more difficult as time goes on. And the goal is to make it so ridiculous, like it breaks the player, you just can't continue it. So if we can do that, that's part of the fun. In order to make that happen, we have to alter the game world, and I'll talk about that in a bit. So the goal of the game is to kill Vivek in a world where you're under threat of NPCs. So the formula is, it's kind of like a speed running thing, or it could be a endurance survival. There's kind of 2 ways you can play it, because you kind of want to kill Vivek as sooner the better. The more days that pass in the game, the more difficult it's going to be. So it's in your interest to be as efficient as you can, and I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Were you inspired by Castlevania for that?
Oh, say it again. Sorry.
Were you inspired by Castlevania? Because that's how Castlevania 2 works. If you take too long, the game you get a bad ending.
No, it's actually very similar ties with Factorio Death World. Very similar. It's just like you're in a world, Death World in particular. You got the bugs. The goal is to get out of there, build a rocket ship. In order to do that, you got to kick out pollution that creates more bugs. So now it's a battle of, the overwhelming threats. You got to hurry up and get to the goal. And so so anyway, and one second. Yeah, so that's the deal. And so
I think it's cool. Yeah.
Goal is kill Vivek within efficiently as you can. Now, so some of the changes we made is, it's Morrowind, right? And how do you balance the game like that? How do you it's just ridiculous, all the super potions and all this. So where do you begin? What's up, Ron?
Yeah. Sorry, to say bye.
So we've had to make some restrictions. I didn't want to make too many. This is what I want to, I don't want to go in there and do all this stuff, because if it's my thing where I'm doing all this, then it's like whatever. I want to make it as vanilla as possible, but there's some things you have to change. So we removed the fortify intelligence effects from the 4 ingredients. Super potions are out. You can't make them.
Okay.
So good. That's one thing there.
Interesting.
There's a fortify skill spell that was introduced in the expansions.
Okay, and what does it do?
And so what it is, you would buy it from a spell merchant.
Okay.
And it could be fortify any of the skills. That wasn't in the vanilla. It was just attributes. Okay, yeah. And so, okay, once you buy it, it'll whatever. But the goal is making it. Now you can make fortify, whatever skill, 100 points for 1 second. Now you can enchant anything. You don't have to buy enchantments anymore. You can.
Oh, I see.
You can cast any spell now, almost. Like it's. I'm like, oh, do I want to keep it or?
Like, do you want to work with it or not? Yeah, like, do you want to incorporate it into the game or not?
You gotta decide you want to work with it or not. And I'm like, no, let's not have it in because it just skews it. Because then you have to balance the game, assuming you have to use it.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's too much of that. Another big one I reluctantly did was remove the restore health effects from 3 of the big ingredients: salt rice, marshmallow, and wickweed.
Oh, okay.
We removed the restore health effect. Just even if we there's just such an abundance of it. There could be so many restore health potions.
There's no survival aspect otherwise.
But we did add it to hound meat to kind of balance it out. And I have a guy, Corkwell Brew, telling, hey, here's what you might want to get. You might want to buy all the Corkwell Brew if you can, and hound meat if you see it. Just little stuff like that, just to help the player out because it's different.
Okay, yeah, no, this is cool. Yeah.
And a big, nice one. And I'll probably do not just one ESP, but a couple files, like one that maybe does all these changes but doesn't spawn any NPCs. Maybe you like the other stuff, So I'm gonna try to do that.
Okay.
One of the ones is enchanting. No longer enchanted items no longer recharge on their own. That's a big one.
Oh.
Enchanting is so OP in the game as it is. So anything you have, you just sleep a whole bunch, or just wait over time, and you can just keep casting it successfully each time. Now you must recharge. So that's like, even if you use a whole bunch of enchantments during a battle, okay, now you got to recharge them all. You don't just get all the mana back right away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so there's like consequences. Like, there's actual like consequences.
Yeah. So so this is cool. What I'm finding out is, so along with the formula with these. So now it's a limited world, okay, and like merchants don't respawn gold. You can't just buy limited Sujamama. You can't just buy all the Matse, all the Flins, all the fortified whatever potions. It's a limited stock everywhere. So what's cool how it works out is, let's say you got these. Every time you use it, that's less you have for later. So when you got the hired goons come that keep spawning in, they're going to be multiple ones every 10 minutes. It's timed. You'll know when it happens. If the more potions you use on them, they're kind of wearing you down. That's like, you want to save those for the boss battle. That's the goal of the game, is to kill the bosses. So if the more hired goons you fight, the more you exhaust your resources, that's less you have for them. So now you decide your first line of defense should be magic, because that's free. Second line defensive enchantments. It's also kind of free, but you got to recharge, and then drink a potion if you have to, and that's the more. So it's kind of balancing out pretty good that way. You have a risk. Yeah. You have and that's the funnest part of the game, is like trying to get like this thing you want to kill, but you don't want to use a potion. I spent so much time trying to like
the right balance.
That's like Morrowind. All the tricks you can pull out. Oh yeah, and when you make potions, they're not worth anything. You can't just make a ton of potions and just sell and get a whole bunch of money. Oh, we flushed out a ton of gold. Oh man, things are so. We jacked up the travel cost. Skill travel. It's so expensive now.
There's consequences.
As it should be.
Yeah. I can only say 2 things apparently. But I'm impressed. The sounds you flipped the whole entire world on its head. Like you changed everything.
Oh, so I'm watching your streams throwing me off the voice. Yeah, it's kind of, and I didn't want to like do too much. A little bit was okay, because I was almost inspired from Will's Super Luigi, and I was thinking sometimes like, you know what? Why not? It's my thing. I'm gonna make some edits, not try to be too vanilla. So screw it. I'm gonna jack up the cost just because I want to,
Well, yeah, because as you were saying, it changes like a lot of with the economy and just like how people will play. Mm-hmm. Like it changes like a lot.
Yeah, and the big one here is one of the biggest tedious. You have to go to each merchant. We'll talk about that later. But a big one is talk about enchanting again. Whereas before you would, if you had to say 30,000 gold, you had the cash. You pay someone to make a big enchantment worth that huge amount. Okay, then you sell a Dradic weapon, get all your money back, and you just keep doing that. Can't do that anymore.
I see. Yeah, infinite money.
Can't do that anymore. I have a list. There's about half the enchanters. I either remove their enchantment ability to make them that service, or I would remove all the items they can barter with.
I see.
So you cannot get your money back anymore.
And
I increased their merchant to 100, so the more expensive, and give you a reason to get gold. I like that. The more the more I need gold, the more fun I have. It's okay, give instead. Okay, I get loot. I need this. I need money. It keeps you going. You know. So that's what I found.
You're making the loot worth something as opposed to just being like, oh, another freaking skooma fucking plan or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like I need money, and like when you need money, there's so much to steal. Like that's the fun part, stealing stuff and all that. Using telekinesis, I just figured out how awesome that is
for
to
sure.
steal stuff.
That's so cool.
So there's that. Oh, shoot.
Well, I was gonna say that I got the questions here. Like, well, look, I'm curious myself. Why did you choose Morrowind? You kind of got. You said like from Long Dark to Morrowind. Is it just because of your experience with the series, or
more or less? I think I don't know. It's just what I was the most familiar with, and I've modded it. That'll make mods for it. It seems simple. Like all right, if I want to try it, that's the one I would know the most of, I guess.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's not like it just kind of happened to be the game, I guess. But yeah,
it can be a simple reason. It doesn't have to be complicated. You know what I mean? Like it's. You like the game and you know the knowledge. Like that's good enough reason in my opinion. So since you're like new to all this, you've been saying that like you're inexperienced. It's only been like a year or two. What's been the hardest part about modding the game?
All right, I have my own little notes for that, so I don't forget things.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you're like you're like I'm not prepared. You have like essays for every answer. You're probably the most prepared guest I've had since like Memblock.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so the hardest part. The problem is because the game's over 20 years old, so the editor is a little buggy, and I use hardest part. Some of the primitive. It also makes it easier. I'll talk about that later, but. Like I can't use it for the code. I can't use it or and.
Oh
like,
really? You can't use those?
Yeah, so you have to use else if for everything. So you have to be kind of creative and like, all right,
that's nuts.
Else if this, but make the highest one first, then you work your way down, then you return up, and okay, then it's like
a puzzle.
Stuff like that. You can only apply one script per NPC or creature. That kind of sucks because
wow,
you don't have one script applied to them.
Like
so
ever?
Then I learned
like in the entire game.
Yes, like well, like every NPC or creature, like
like that individual instance of it, like
one more time, sorry.
Like that individual instance of that NPC, like that.
Yes, that individual instance of that one. Yep.
Like so, like NPC number 1 can have one script, NPC number 2, and they could be the same character though.
They can be getting copy and paste them. It's like that same ID. The same
okay. That's I wanted to make sure, like, because I didn't know if it meant like one script for that one character model, like that's it. Like, you know what I mean?
For
but
unique.
It's more the instance of it, or like the copies of it, or whatever, like the actors and stuff.
And so I learned, okay, you have to make one more global, the better script, and just have like references. Okay, if this person attached to the script is carrying this swimmer coin, okay, then tell it to do this. So we kind of do that. So I'll add stuff in their inventory or add certain stats. Okay, it'll check for what they have in their inventory. Then it'll run that part of the script for that character. So I just do
clever.
that.
Yeah.
And you have to, this game, you got a lot of nuances to work around because this house is how it's set up. Oh, yeah. Good luck finding support, Googling specific questions.
No, that's not true. You found a video by Todd fucking Howard.
Oh, okay. There's that.
That was hilarious. We're like, that sounds like Todd Howard. Wait,
shit,
that literally is Todd Howard. He's like, yeah, so, you just dragging the thing. And I was like, what the fuck?
That was the bonus content that came with the Morrowind on PC, I believe. So it was
what a beast.
But yeah, like Discords are really your best bet. But as something specific, it's like if you can't figure out, gotta do something else. You gotta know when to quit. And that'd be a good one to talk about later. Yeah,
you gotta kind of like go with it. Yeah. So so that's the hardest stuff. What was the easiest part? Like what were you like so surprised? Like, wow, that's like that takes like 2 seconds.
Oh yes. The like how basic, even though it was double-edged sword, how difficult it was, but because the scripting the language in the game is so simple, it's just like its own thing. There's always so many commands, so like it's very easy to like just once you know like the basics. There's a link. I can send it to you if you want to send in the chat. People can kind of see it too. I use this all the time. It kind of shows a little shows all commands, what they do. Very convenient setup here.
You post it for people. Yeah.
So that's a nice list there. It's kind of intuitive in a way when it is intuitive and it's not. Some of the stuff like, yeah, let's change this value on this potion and it just affects it all in the game. Okay, now I know. Or it'll like
Yeah, no, sorry, I was
it's
about to say.
It's kind of like it's just everything's just kind of there, like because it's probably just an older game, you kind of cram everything in the list. Like, oh, it's just I'll change this and load it. Oh, it just works. You know, it's hard to say, but the coding is very easy. You don't have to know any programming language at all. And I was like,
that's the part that surprised me the most out of what you just said. Huh? It's just that easy.
Yeah, it is. It's like, okay, it's just only so much. You don't have to know any. Just looking at the mainly thing I was looking at. Okay, what the scripts they already made. Okay, and just reference that. Oh, they did that. Okay, and this and that. And there's not a lot to it. There's not really. So that made it easier.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so did you expect the project to go the way that it has, or has there been any surprises or like things you didn't expect to happen? Or
yeah, there's. I would say, okay, a good example. I didn't plan at all to have bosses.
True. Yeah.
And that was kind of like an afterthought, but the game did need like an ending or a point. So then we let's. We first were like, well, let's edit existing NPCs. That'll be easier. Like, actually, no, it wouldn't. So then we found out really the fun part is finding these efficient ways of doing things. So we, without getting out of the diverging from the question too much.
No, it's all related. For me, I just like hearing about all the aspects of it. It's more just I'm trying to guide it, I guess, just so you know what I mean. We can.
Yeah.
It has an ending.
So something that changes for the good. Wasn't expecting to have like boss battles. That might be like the main thing now. And I was like, but as long as in addition to that looming threat of oh wait, let me tell you something real quick. So
yeah,
that's the two ways you can play it, I guess. Is I realized, faster you goes the better. So try to speed run how fast you can kill Mimic. That might be its own thing. We'll
Interesting.
See. But then there's the also side is the survival mode. We'll say maybe day 50. So talk about that real quick. So the NPCs that spawn around you, the niche spent a lot of time on that, and I'm gonna go too detail on what's that, how it works there. But let's say day 10 through 20, that'll be all the tier 1, then tier 2, day 20 on up. By day 50, I'm not going to make a ton of them. That's like, so by day 50-ish, that'll be the tier 5s. And what happens is over time, their attributes are multiplied by the days passed, how many days have passed, plus whatever any factors we put in there.
Okay.
So it's going to scale, and maybe after day 50, okay, now we'll scale it even further. It gets exponential. I don't know what it's going to look like. I have no idea. It might get batshit insane. There's a lot of dice rolling. There's a lot of the way we did the dice rolls is like the every day pass as an extra face to the dice. So the odds of getting a higher tier is greater naturally. We'll have a cutoff at a certain point. So tier 1 doesn't spawn after this day. So that actually does work pretty well. The types of NPCs that spawn, the hired goons, there's 3 classes: tank, rogue, and mage. And that's really fun. Like almost like MMO, we're kind of making our own characters with this. Like the mage, that was a fun one to work with, like how it casts spells. Like you have to know the AI.
It's so interesting how in depth this is. Like you're like, oh, I only did a few changes, and you're like, well, I pretty much did everything.
Like for the mage, they cast the strongest spell every time. Well, okay, so I can put a bunch of spells that only do the first 2, whatever. So what I've done is as part of the script that attaches to that NPC, it'll remove and give it a spell like every minute or so. It'll do a dice throw and it'll have a chance of casting, one of these elements. It'll remove another one. So it's always like different spells you might get. And we made it so because it won't cast the same spell on you while you're in effect. So if you have a 5-second frost, it won't cast that frost again on you because you're still under the effect. So we'll purposely, we'll do a 3-second thing. So it won't cast the same one twice. It'll force trigger this other spells. We're doing all that. It's working out pretty good.
Yeah, it's a crazy just the cycle of shit.
And like for the wizards or the mages, we'll give them I'll call it a bubble, like a really powerful shield that lasts like a minute. So you don't want to touch them with melee if you can avoid it because you won't do much damage. They'll and you got the rogue. That would have higher agility. That'd be pretty fast. Oh yeah, the rogue would use like a bow and arrow or a crossbow. When it runs out, it comes at you with a katana. And so that is super high. Oh, we even increased like the range and speed of the weapons, so it's really harder to kite them. You gotta like so that's really nice. We did do some balanced things where, yeah. So now, yeah, we can talk more about how this what really the meat of it is the
Sure.
The never-ending spawns, you know. And so over time, the game keeps track if you don't kill them, you don't have to. You can always run away. You can always warp out, Alzheimer's intervention, whatever. But the game keeps track of that. When they spawn in, it's like, okay, we're change this variable to whatever. And if you don't kill them, okay, the next spawn 10 minutes later, it'll prompt you when it's going to happen. Okay, well now there's going to be whatever you missed, that many more will spawn in. And so it kind of catches up with you after a while. Then if you keep avoiding that, and the game knows, and there's curses that can apply on you, you can do a whole lot of stuff. You have the incentive, the motive is there. You could, because you can always find a way around it. So no, the goal is to challenge the player, to bring out the best. Really, Morrowind Unleashed is almost be a word, like just get all the tricks out of Morrowind of the game. There's so much in there. And so then okay, you know a battle's about to start because of the timer. So we'll do conjuration. We'll spawn all these guys. Okay, we'll do this. We'll jig this. We'll jig that. Okay, ready, save, and go. Like this big battle. Every so often. That's like the fun part of the game is like just trying to pull all the tricks out to get through. So I'm hoping to bring out the best in the game that way. I'm having a lot of fun with it. That's for sure.
I can definitely tell. Yeah, that's I'm just impressed with how in depth your answers have been. Smokey's like, I had to impress him. So, yeah. What new skills have you learned from this project? Like, you already had a bit of a coding background. You already had a bit of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I would say this. As far as skills, as far as like traps to watch out for game development, I guess that'd be maybe a better one for me to answer. So let's say one second. Sorry. Okay. Probably knowing when not to add extra stuff. It's so tempting, and I get sucked into this every time. It's the worst. I'm the worst at it.
They call it scope creep.
You start off with an idea. Yeah. Okay, we'll do this. Let's try it out. Then you start working on it. Half the fun is just playing with the game. And let's add this. I bet we could make him do this. And you're challenging yourself to see if you can pull it off. Like, well, no, let's figure this out. And you go so far in one direction, you completely miss the point what you're trying to do. Or if you do add it, then you got to maintain it throughout the game. So if there's all these extra features, might not jive with something else. So I've getting better at just, okay, no, it's a good idea. Just, you could always add it later. Let's just get a finished product first. Then you can.
Which is good, because, you don't want to be stuck in this forever, especially with such a massive game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And luckily, the nice thing with this is that there's a lot going on, but it's just a lot of stuff kind of spawns in. You kind of set it and forget it almost, where like how the tributes increase over time. Okay, I don't have to go in there and edit all these NPCs. The game will kind of do it itself. So we're trying to be as efficient as we can.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah. Is there anything you had to cut? You were talking about having to, scope creep and all these things like that. Like, so has there been things you've had to cut from this mod?
No, that would be, it's a more accurate way to say I had to do something I didn't want to because I couldn't get it to work. But
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what was an example of that? Or do you not have an example?
I don't really have it. I might come back another time. And
Okay. Yeah, so you don't have anything to cut because you're going to add it at some point.
Yeah, a lot of it's adding stuff kind of thing. So it's not really, but one of the closest thing is I didn't like having to remove effects from ingredients to make the game more difficult. The best I could do, the goal is to make the difficulty around the game as is as much as possible. But so it's finding that balance, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah. So what's your workflow like? Like, so do you wake up? Is it like 6 a.m? You're cracking eggs in a blender, and then you're chugging it, running up the stairs.
Oh man, no, it's whenever I happen. If I don't have the kids around, if it's like in the morning or something, that's usually the best. Or if I like go to bed early and wake up like shit and I'm awake, and it's like 3 in the morning, that's the best time for me. That is the best by far.
I was curious if you work on it off stream or not. So
I do. That's the best progress I make is off stream because you know what happens. I go on.
Same with me too. Yeah.
I have too much fun. It's like, oh, you know, sometimes it's good. It's I get good momentum. Good for stream should be for game test playing it, testing the mod I worked on off stream earlier, but then I can make quick changes. If I have to design an idea from the ground up on stream, it's too many distractions and stuff. So to get the idea going off stream, and then all right, now we'll fine tune and test it on stream. That's the best mix I found.
That's actually a great concept of like work on it in like the morning, 3 a.m. or whatever, and then like test it at night with like an audience and people who can like give feedback. That's actually a really smart way to do that. Yeah. Who knows? So like, do you like to have music on? Do you like sit in silence? Are you like, you know,
I'll play I'll typically do Morrowind Lo-Fi. There's a good one on there. There's that Conan Barbarian Town extended track, but it is ambient.
Yeah, you've been playing a lot of those on stream. Yeah. So it's the same stuff off stream.
Same stuff. Yeah.
And then like, how long do you work for? Are you working for like an hour, 2 hours? Is it just whatever you can get done?
Whenever I can get time in there. I mean, honestly, whatever time I spend on it, I'm like, okay, there's so much more. My house needs cleaning. I should not be spending it. So there's that too. I got like a lot of stuff going on with that. And,
I guess it almost like motivates you to clean your house in a way. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
like, wait,
I feel better working on it if I get some actual work done. But then now, as far I should be spending more time on it. The problem is, and this is another thing too, skill, whatever. You have to know there's gonna be a point where you will lose interest in the project. It will happen. It's a matter of time. And it's like, okay, I know that's gonna happen. I'm not gonna start Long Dark till after, but so we gotta it's in my interest to keep momentum, keep the pace going, get like tangible checkpoints, or get progress.
Yeah, but you have a bit more of a grounded look about this, because a lot of people will be like, you know what I mean, like, I'll do it forever and I'll put a bajillion hours and day and night, and you're like, bro, I know I only got 100 hours before I'm out. So it's interesting.
It's hard. Yeah, that's the best thing is have that core concept idea. Just release the bare bones basic, then add stuff to it over the years. As long as you have something that's already out there.
That's a interesting. And I mean, like, I guess like Stardew Valley is kind of did that. It started like the basic farming stuff and added like so much crap over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Or like just any game like that. You know what I mean? Like, I know you played a bunch of those, right? Where it's like starts off as one thing and then 5 years later, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, Long Dark changed a lot.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I figured Long Dark was one of those. So you mentioned that you're doing this. You have only so much time. You feel like modding and doing that. So do you see yourself doing more mods in the future, or is this a one and done?
Oh yeah, I have a lot. No, this is like definitely an ongoing thing. Since the last year is how it started. Started off as a survival thing. Then it canceled that, and that didn't really work out. Oh, to answer that real quick, sorry. This whole thing started as a survival, like hunger, like Long Dark hunger meter thing. Spent way too much time working on that, but it's still fun. But I realized sometimes you learn when to call it quits, or realize that I learned you can't force certain things in certain games. Like Morrowind wasn't meant for that. As much as I like to do it, like there's just you need to control like the abundance of out there, the resources you have. But also, I want to make another note here. Excuse me.
Do it.
A good point is to skills to learn, or I found knowing when to quit. I guess if a thing isn't working. Oh yes. Oh, this is a true fact. Like if you can't figure it out, literally just go to sleep, wake up the next day, and you'll know the answer. You know that, right? Or
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've done that on stream too, where it's like you're getting frustrated by a boss or something, and then you're like, "Fuck it," and you come back the next day, and you're like, "Why was I struggling?"
Yeah, and I was like. Yeah, we woke up the next. My first thought, I know what it is. Let me test it out. So that's the thing too. You just gotta take a break, or
that's been happening with me with my my 3D platformer game, where I was kind of stuck, but now there was a new idea that kind of got brought to me, and I was like, you know what, that might fix all my issues. But if I didn't wait, I would never have thought of the idea.
Yeah, and it's like, and also when to stop. Like, I want this thing to work, and you're banging your head against the wall trying to get it to work. It's like, fuck, no, do something else. You gotta. No stop, because again, you're against the clock ultimately, where you're gonna lose interest. So forget it. You can work on it later.
That pressure of the time. That's fun, interesting. That's like what motivates you. They're like, I only got to the end of the year or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Long Dark has to start eventually. It has. I want to play it. Like, okay,
especially with the update.
Where are we at? What do we?
So, like,
Oh, wait, hold on. So the question
sorry, go ahead.
So yes, I want to do more of this. I mean, this template, this survival thing, this formula, if it works out, I mean, Oblivion's next. You know, so I want to see Fallout. That's mainly the Bethesda games.
Did you hear, Smokey? Did you hear that? Apparently, Oblivion's getting remade next year.
Oh no, I did not.
Yeah,
right.
it's like rumored so heavily that like 5 different places have been like, yeah, no, it's pretty much coming in January. Like they're gonna announce it or whatever.
Like, so is it like a spin-off Bethesda company? Like, or
yeah, it's like I don't think Bethesda's doing it. It's like some other company, but it's being made in Unreal Engine 5. It's gonna be like one of those like, you know, that's pretty enough and stuff.
Yeah, that's the stuff I like. I would say I would love if they did something with that, like an official company redid Morrowind with new engine. You know, I know there's Skywind and all that, of course.
No, I know what you mean though. It's different when like it has the official polish and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's just, you make money, just do it. So
I know, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah.
And so like those are next. I'm not sure how much easier, more difficult it would be to edit Oblivion. It might be easier in some areas, more difficult if in other areas. Oh, also, as far as like ROM hacking, I'm not so much in like some certain things. I remember reached out to like removing music from a game, stuff like that. Like, like I just want to change this. Oh, nice, or change the contrast of that gunfire. It's really high pitched sound. Better replace that, or maybe replace sound effects, something like that.
Yeah, we were talking a lot about that. Yeah, or just like the removing sound channels and stuff, and like what can still work. Yeah.
And the other thing, actually, tabletop simulator, like to make a good Monopoly scripted Monopoly game that counts your money, that does like keeps track of like stuff that the player wouldn't have to keep track of, like interest or something like that. That would be, I think, every now and again, that'd be a fun thing to do to.
Like it has like a script in it, like so you don't have to manually do it.
Yeah, just I have like the scripting stuff where it just calculates money for it. Just makes it easier.
Honestly, I would be more inclined to do like a tabletop if it was like doing all the work for me than like the like manual stuff. Like, which I get that's the point. It's supposed to be a sim, but like,
well, you know, but still, it's like kind of awkward with the money.
Something like, with like Monopoly, it's like, bro, there's too much like moving pieces.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
But I can see like story working, you know, something where it's like so simple. You just like hit a dice block and like go around a circle.
Yeah, just like counting your money for you. It'd be nice if you just did that for me or whatever. And
because then people can't cheat either, right? It's like, which is always the biggest complaint that I've always heard about your Monopoly experiences. So the biggest question of all: pineapple on pizza.
Oh, yes. Shit, I wasn't prepared for this. No. Yeah, that's fine. Just more roasted, the better. If it's like a big, giant...
Oh, interesting, yeah.
...chunk, you know, I don't know, but smaller,
wait,
roasted,
will they put like a ring on it? You've had that?
Not with the full ring, only the chunks.
Yeah, okay, I mean, usually it's a chunk. I'm like, you said like a huge thing, and I was like...
I don't like it, the
chunk's ring on it?
big.
Like, oh...
Chunk needs to be small, reasonably sized.
I get what you're saying though. Yeah, sometimes they do the big. Like they're higher than the crust, right? Like they stick up, right?
Yeah. Back Lent days, growing up, I remember Lighthouse Pizza where I grew up. It was like cheese and pineapple, and it was really good. So yes, I wouldn't go out of my way to put it on there. I'll eat it if it's there, but I wouldn't ever pay money for it.
What's fascinating is my defense is that no one usually eats pineapple and cheese. Usually it's just like, you know, it's like Hawaiian or something, you know, where it's like there's bacon and other stuff involved. So I find it fascinating that you're like, no, just like pineapple cheese, like.
Well, now I think about it, it's been like a decade since I had pineapple on pizza. I'll try it again.
I know what you mean though, but like you didn't hate. You weren't like being like, oh my god, like blasphemy.
I'll eat almost anything. So.
Fair. I mean, especially if it's like pizza. Like, let's be real. I'm on team. I'll eat any pizza. I don't give a shit.
Really?
So any advice to future hackers of Morrowind? So if someone wants to be, you know, SmokyRawSauce #2, like what should they do? Like what do they need to know? What would you say to like you if you started now? Like what would you do?
There's OpenMW. That's the way to go. That's like the engine, or that's the how you. That's the way to play Morrowind from the get-go. So I would start with that if you're gonna work on it. But that's a big objective too. Do what you want, I guess. In the end, there's for me, starting knowing nothing, it was just whatever the couple YouTube videos are out there. They'll show you all the nuances and stuff. And after that, once you start figuring it out, it's easier than you think. Like I said, I was amazed how easy the game was to mod. Like, holy shit! Like, so I got a lot of other mods too. It's kind of half finished, partly done. So I'm hoping to wrap it up and just kind of.
Well, yeah, it sounds like the hardest part is just like what to do with the world. It's like so big, right?
Yeah, I guess if you go in with like a focus of what some specific you want to do. Like for me, it was like, yeah, like all right, how do I make it into my kind of survival game? And that's my main motivation. Is okay, how do I turn it into
what
something
you
to get
want.
me to play? It's really for me actually. This thing was like, okay, a way to get me to play Morrowind was to turn it into some kind of survival thing, and that's like I wouldn't really play Oblivion on its own, but if I were to work on a mod for it to make, then I want to play Oblivion, and same with Fallout and
yeah.
that kind of thing.
That's so cool.
Don't worry if your code is inefficient and stupid. If it works, it's fine. Don't be ashamed of it. You should see my horrible cluster dumpster fire. So.
No, that's honestly good advice though, because a lot of people will think like, oh, I have to be perfect. It's like, I don't think a single developer was ever perfect ever, even slightly. But chat, do you have any questions for Smokey? Is there anything?
Thank you. I would say thank you for being here during this. I do appreciate it. It's an honor to be asked these questions.
Yeah, I actually have one for you that I was curious about. Are you able to like edit the map itself of the game, or is it like you have to like only add?
No, yeah, you can. And I just yesterday or the day before, like my very first time placing something in the game world. And because all my stuff was all scripting and just editing files and stuff. That's all.
That's what I was curious about. If it was like just like like numerical edits, or if you can actually like change the landscape and like buildings.
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
the entire game is there. All the cells,
That's crazy.
Everything is just in there. It's great. And so
that sounds fun. Like to make your own like little linear adventure, you could do that. Like you could close off parts and all that. Like that sounds cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have so much fun with this too, especially now that we're doing the static bosses in the world. And so now we'll make their own little backstory. And when you kill this one guy, try a relatively remote spot, there'll be a note on him. That'll lead a clue to the next boss. You'll do some of that. Some might chain in. I want mostly to be open. The best thing with that is it forces the player to go to like Soul Steam. Like I wanted a reason to get the player to go to the Tribunal sewers and Mournhold.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so they're not just doing the same path they always do, right?
Yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't have a reason to. But now that to kill Vivek to open the door, you have to collect all the keys or whatever thing we add to it, but they force you to go throughout the game world, kill these really challenging bosses, and that's and being on the clock to do it more or less. And that's the formula, and we'll see how it pans out.
Interesting. I find the whole thing so fascinating. Just like it's so much more in depth than I was expecting.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, I ended up just turning in. I guess the main thing was, rather than a mod for this, like let's just change the game as much, to just change it to like give me a reason to play it. I guess that sounds weird saying it, but like I don't know.
No, but I actually totally get what you're saying. Like that sounds exactly what I was just thinking. Like, cause I was wondering if it's like, cause some games you can't edit a lot of stuff unless you like really know your shit, or like even N64 games you have to basically open Blender and make your whole new thing and export maps and do all sorts of crazy shit. So
yeah, Long Dark was a bitch to edit. That was it was like, so the big difference between the two games was meant to be modded and all that.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
The real question here is, do you have anything you want to share with that, like, or do you not, or are you just like happy with giving our answers? Because we still got some time left. I'm still waiting to see if my Mario Party will exist.
Oh, yeah, dude. All right, all right, here. So put you off there. Well,
I feel bad for Ranger Pager because we never told him that we were doing this.
What we could do, I should have prepped it. Oh, damn. Well, if you have a second, I can spawn in the NPCs that spawn around you. I kind of talk about how they work. I don't be care now, but this is like the.
No, here, one sec. Before you start, I just need to get you pulled up properly.
Oh, sure. Where's
actually,
that
no, I'll do it.
Dice throwing one?
I'm just trying to decide how I should do that.
Oh, shit. I do like in this editor how you can. I like how simple it is too. It's buggy as shit, and you have to like. Oh yeah, the answer to the question, the more difficult things about modding this is that if there might be something wrong with the game with your mod, but it doesn't error out. Like you wouldn't know until you start playing. You have to know to check for certain things. If you don't put a space in front of the if command, it won't error out, but it won't work, and you don't know until you kind of search for it.
Oh,
Or if you,
I see, yeah.
If there's an NPC that exists, an ID that exists, that you killed him off, he's there, and if you try to edit it, and another one spawns in, the edits don't apply to it. The changes aren't there. I could not freaking figure that out, and that was, oh, now I know they can't pre-exist. Okay, get those nuances ironed out, but
okay. All right, I'm pretty much ready now. What's what you want to show?
Let's see. So this will be. So we'll look at the mob spawner script. Oh yeah, one of the things we've done on here. I was proud of it. We actually did it live on stream. So for example, can
you like? I guess if you're trying to show the text, can you make it a little bigger? Just because it's a little tiny. Yeah, just so people can actually read it.
So I guess ignore it for a second, but the an issue I found is that the way they would spawn in, it would be pretty random, and it would be different every time. And the problem is, well, we have to keep loading and saving. Well, it's of a different loadout. It's kind of hard to prepare for it. So we had to create all these 9 of them. So halfway, like 5 minutes before they spawn, the role is predetermined of what is going to spawn. So it'll always be the same every time, but we have to predetermine that, way ahead of time.
Okay.
So that's what that is there.
And so, like, what part of the code is this? Is it like that big script?
Yeah, this is kind of like what we do about a little bit.
No, but is this like you said there was a big script you read on you attached to the world or something, right? Or is this like the one you attach to each individual NPC, or like what is this?
What this is a script. It just kind of there in the background. It runs to spawn the NPCs. So every 10 minutes, the backbone script will run this.
Okay.
And it'll run it so many times. Each time it runs, an NPC will spawn. And here it determines which NPC will spawn. And there's the class, and then there's a tier. Which class, tank, rogue, or mage, and which tier level, how powerful they are.
Okay.
And so in this case, we'll look at the numbers predetermined, but that's ignored, I guess. So if there's the mob class role, there's 3 of them, so it's going to pick. So it might be all mages that spawn. It might be all tanks. So it's a good variety there. It's not like a.
Oh, I see. Like it's RNG. Yeah.
Yep. So it'll be the same every time per that save. You can't like cheese it or whatever. It's like if it's going to be 5 tanks, it's going to be 5 tanks until the next spawn 10 minutes later.
Oh, okay.
Maybe something else.
Interesting.
And so we have to. So there's no or and. So we have to use a lot of else ifs to work around it.
Else if.
So in this
you
case,
mentioned that the else. So what's the difference? Like between I know if and or is like but you don't even just for people who.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier if I could say, hey, if this value is this or this, then make this happen, or it has to be this and this, then make it happen.
Yeah, but what do you have to do?
Yeah, I can't do that. I have to say, okay, well, if it's less than this, then do this, and if it's less than this, then do that, and if it's less than this number, then do that. And then so you have to like break it down. So
I see. So you can't just say you can't just do like a widespread thing. It has to be like very every little detail has to be documented.
Yeah, and so in this case, we'll say mob tier roll 29. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Yeah.
29. Okay, so in this case, what we're looking at 29. This should be like 50 or something, but so it's going to decide. Okay, how strong of a NPC is going to spawn, and so it's going to check. All right, if it's after day 30, spawn the death tier, the strongest one. Let's say we're on day 5. Okay, well, we're not after day 30. If it's greater than day 20, spawn this tier. So you work from the highest on down. That's how you have to do it.
Okay.
You have to. All right, so check for the highest one, which is and then it keeps going down. Okay, day 14, nope. Day 9, nope.
So when you say the highest, are you talking like 255 value? Do you mean like
most difficult? Let's say 255. I guess
that's usually the max, right? For most things, right?
Yes, like with the math. So the roll, so it's like the dice that rolls. What we've done is every day that passes, that adds a new face on the dice. So let's say there's 29 sides to the dice. That's 29 days.
Okay.
So in this case, let's say on day 30, it'll be if it says, hey, if the roll is 29 or greater, that the spawn is higher and stuff. That means but there's only 30 sides. Well, 5% chance of getting that. So if you have 30, if you have excuse me, so each day that passes a new face on the dice, so to speak. So let's say you're on day 50. There's 50 sides of the dice. This says, hey, if that dice lands on something higher than 29, make this happen. And if you're on day 200, well, there's a greater chance now. The numbers will be higher than 29 because now it's 200 chance things it could land on. So if you're on day 1000, almost everyone's gonna be greater than 29. That's like your highest tier stuff. I'm trying to explain it weird, but that's kind of how we're balancing
you're saying,
it
but it sounds like essentially like after a certain point, it's always going to do the same thing essentially.
The goal of it is to, over time, the odds of something, the stronger NPC will happen because just the odds of it happening. So, for example, we down here, okay, if it's days greater than 0, all the way at the bottom, it'll always spawn something. That's the lowest level stuff's on the bottom because it's guaranteed to spawn it.
Okay.
And we just kind of do a check. Oh, first check if it's after day 10. Oh, it's after day 10. Now spawn this one instead. And then so that it kind of does that. And then
it's really
that's
cool,
kind of how it's laid out there. Oh, if you look all right, run one probably an easier one to look at would be the mob script. That's the one that's attached to all the NPCs that spawn around you. The boss will have their own script to run. Here's a good one here. Okay, this is better. This is a less abstract example. In this case, we're setting the straight. Oh yeah. So it's not in here, but I just want to talk about it. One of the cool ideas I had for the boss battles is they would their attributes. There'd be a base amount, 100 each or whatever, plus whatever your attributes are. So if you have like a fortify strength 500, they have it too now. I mean, you're good against wizards and stuff. If you have straight speed 500, well, they're just as fast. They're faster than you now. So it mirrors you a little bit. That checks every frame, so you can't really cheese it. So that's something that we could do.
Yeah.
And just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. I get bit in the ass many times. Like, ooh, I can add that. It'll look really clever or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's a good idea, but it doesn't really, in the long term, it kind of works against you.
Yeah, you kind of see why the devs didn't do it or whatever. It's like,
I'll do this. It'll be really cool. Like, yeah, it's just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's a big one too. Oh yeah, we have to if you kill them. Oh, there's kind of pain in the ass stuff here. Where I want, let's say, the tanks to have. I'll make their cuirass super high armor rather than just give them more HP, so they're more susceptible to magic. I like that balance.
I see.
So, but I don't want you to have their super high armor when you kill them. I don't want them to just disappear either. So I want their corpse on the ground. So what happens is I just instantly replace their cuirass, the buffed one, with just a regular one. So that's what we do here. I would like to have this cleaned up in separate scripts, so we have to cram it all in one. Or we'd have to tell it to reference. It's a pain in the butt. So, but here's we're official wizard business only, and this is where we kept the item count. So if there's one Dwemer coin on that person, it's a tier 1 wizard mage, and you're gonna do a spell do timer. So every 10 seconds, you're gonna roll the dice, and then it's gonna, if dice is 0, do this spell, and do that one. It's gonna remove it. Any other spell kind of thing. Here's a better way. Here you go. Remove and add. So it's rotating spells there. We got a quote. I do not arch my titties.
Good.
My titties don't flap.
Looks like Chalmers has shown you the door. If only you'd open yours in the first place.
Oh.
Did you ever play that, the Steamed Hands Choose Your Own Adventure?
I did not.
Yeah. You should.
This is all I'm going to talk about for the coding.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah. If there's any last thing, we're kind of in the last part here.
No, I think I yacked down long enough there.
Sure.
No, seriously,
yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Can we get a round of applause for Smokey real quick? Showing us his code, giving us an in-depth look at his life, telling us about his 3 a.m. wandering into Tamriel. All that fun stuff. Is it Tamriel? I don't remember.
I'm not quite sure what it's called. And here's the last thing I'll leave off with. Though,
Sure,
is
sure. What do you got?
The main thing we're going into this. This might not even be feasible. This might and this is what I could use help with people testing it out or whoever would help me out. Is just finding. There's a lot of anti-cheese. I'm very anti-cheese. I didn't even go over my notes yet. Oh shit, there's so much things I missed. All right, hold on.
That's fine.
All right. No. Oh yeah, because that was a list on there. I would say real quick.
Sure. Sure. What do you got?
Enchantments, talk about that. Can't sell things. Yeah, gold does not restock, so that's a good way to flush it out. I guess we talked about that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about that. Yeah, good. All right. And so we, as I was saying, though, this might be all for naught. There might be too many exploits. Oh yeah. So we did. Yeah. As I mentioned too, one way to balance this out, and it's a cool thing too, because we have the activator for the bosses. Yeah, that's the fun part when you get is now because we can control. You activate. You go to a dungeon, right? You at the end. There's a shrine or whatever I put in the game. You would talk to, you activate, say, hey, this will do a boss fight. It'll say on there, you cannot levitate until you kill them, but you can't. We ban some certain spells, chameleon and levitate. This is too cheesy. Sorry, do something else.
But no, I want to fly everywhere, man. Come on, it's the best part.
But we don't ban it from the game though completely. It's only during the boss battles because we can activate it. Now we can keep track. And when you kill a boss, that number will change back. The game will know when you killed it. So it'll know when there's a window, so we can control a lot of stuff during that window. That's working out pretty good. The same works for the NPCs that spawn the hired goons. If you run away or leave, the game knows there's still a imbalance, so you cannot levitate or use chameleon while that imbalance is still there. So that's kind of your incentive to know they're there to kill, and if you're not good enough, and that's the thing. I'm hoping that will cripple the player or they'll crush their spirit so much because I just can't. I'm just not good enough. I'm getting killed too much, and it'll be overwhelming at a certain point. Good, then you'll try it again. Maybe there's a better route. Maybe there's something you missed. So they go, let's try it again to kill. So that's the hope anyway.
Yeah, you're always trying to give like a purpose for it. Yeah. Cool.
Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. All right.
No, well, I was gonna say, is there any final thought? Any last thing you want to say? Any last shout out, or where can people find you?
Oh yeah. SmokyRawSauce.twitch.tv.
That was the right order.
Is that the right order? Okay.
That sounded right.
Discord. I think I still got that Discord command still works.
Yeah.
I probably will have, once I'm on the Nexus, there's a day I got there, did nothing wrong. I'll probably have better updates and stuff. Once it's public, quote unquote, we'll see. I'm the one person that'll download it. Who knows? It might blow up.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, if they want to get it, I guess just be on the lookout. I'm not sure where he's gonna post it, but it'll be somewhere.
It'll be somewhere. And thank you so much, Catnip. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Smoke.
There you are.
Mr. Sauce. Yes.
So what's the plan now? Yeah, well, I'll let you.
That concludes that episode of the ROMHACK podcast. Thank you again, Smokey, and thank everyone for watching. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Very good.
I feel bad because we never actually told Rager Page that we delayed everything, or Omega, or anyone.
Oh yeah.
She kind of came in and was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I am sorry. Deadbeat ex-wife had the kids, or no, she had to work, so I had the kids. I wasn't supposed to, so it messed up the schedule. I'm the victim here. Sorry. Thank you.
No. It was more just I just felt bad that we were like, yeah, we got a plan, and I was like, we didn't tell like half the people the plan, so I actually feel really bad about that. But like just personally, I do. But yeah, like I don't know what's going on with Throne. In the sense that it's like still like pending. We're waiting for your code comes today. I'm like, there isn't much today left. Like what can I like fuck? And then Rager Pager has to go to bed at some point because she's got like a life and work and all that.
Oh shit.
So if you want to wait around, I think it's gonna take like half an hour for me to find out. Yeah,
I mean, what I'll do by default is probably just work on the mod a little bit, or if you want to do some shit, play some retro, I'm down. Dr. Mario. Oh, Smash Brothers. I actually had a lot of fun playing Smash Brothers one time.
I don't know if I'm gonna Smash Brothers
You're pretty
right now, am I?
too,
Fuck. I've been streaming for about 7 hours also, so I'm like,
take a break, dude. I'm just like,
yeah, no, that's where I'm just like, I might just jump off maybe then, because there's no way. I feel like Major Page is probably not going to join in if we start at 11. I'm speaking for her though. I don't know if that's true. I doubt it though. But
I love the Pager pants grab ornament lineup.
Yeah, that was not what she wanted. But yeah.
Okay, well we can diverge from here.
Yeah, it sounds I feel bad. Like, I'm sorry for delaying everything and then being like, well, guess there's no Mario Party.
As always of the time, no problem, no worries.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. There's always one of us having a freaking tech issue or something.
It wouldn't be any other way.
Yeah. Well, either way, Smokey, thank you very much for joining. I will.
Hey, thank you.
I will still message y'all, and I'll be in your chat or whatever.